Hi, and welcome to Sixcess Stories. We are your hosts, Christina Gent
and Eric Ozarowski.
And this is where we share real conversations with the members of the 6 Degrees community all about life, leadership, and the power of meaningful connections. On today's episode, we have Heather Siems, the Employee Benefits Specialist at James Morrison Insurance Services.
Yeah, in this episode, we talked to Heather about the challenge of having a career and while being a parent and finding the balance between the two at different stages in parenthood and kids' lives. We talk about the power of realizing what works best for me and understanding that my path and playbook might be different than other people's and embracing that and leaning into it. We also get into a really interesting conversation around authenticity, just some really unique perspectives of how that shows up and what it means to be authentic.
Yeah, it's always great for us to chat with people and get different perspectives, and especially from people who are entrepreneurs who are also parents.
It's amazing that people have businesses and also are raising children.
For sure.
That's mind-blowing with
Yeah.
with everything that we've been doing without the kid piece.
Yeah, I honestly can't imagine. So I
shout
applaud all those
out
parents out
to
there.
all the parents.
For sure.
The business owners that are also parents.
For sure.
Don't know how you're doing it.
Me neither. It's so much work.
Godspeed.
Please enjoy Sixcess Stories. Well, we start each of these with a check-in.
Yep.
And I always appreciate your mindset around gratitude. So I would love for us to start with one thing that we're grateful for. Let's keep it to Friday. Let's keep it to today. So I know there's lots of things we could be grateful for over the course of time. So what are we grateful for today?
I'm like 3 things pop into my head.
Go.
Well, I told you guys I went to the DMV today, so I was grateful that was a smooth experience.
That is definitely something to be grateful for.
So much energy in there. I was like, I'm so glad I have an appointment right now. This is the Chula Vista one. I'm like, okay, this is good. So I'm grateful for that. I've been really present with my kids lately and wanting to be even more so just at the ages they're at. So
Yeah. I've
just been feeling a lot of gratitude for just having really great, healthy, wonderful children.
How about for you, Eric?
Yeah. Today specifically, we've been traveling, we've had family in town, and I have been off of my routine, what feels like for a few months. And today I went for a run. It felt really good to to exercise.
Yeah.
Last year I had this whole thing where I was like 10,000 steps every day. That's what I want to do. And I did it for a year.
Wow.
And it was really productive. And then this year has just been up and down with that. So I've been sporadic, but I'm hoping it's like this little motivation to go, okay, let's get back.
Right.
Let's get back into the routine. Because I'm very much like my mental clarity when I'm doing like a 20-30 minute run every day. It's like way different.
I bet.
So very much grateful for
That
the
time.
extra time that I had to do that today.
Well, now you actually did it.
Yeah.
You could have had the time and not done it.
You still had to make the decision to do it.
Yeah.
So.
I did. Good for me.
How long has it been since you ran?
I've been doing it's like once or twice a week, kind
Okay.
of sporadically, which is just that's
the
off
harder
for
part.
me. Usually it's like once I do one, it like builds and I'll get into a little bit of a rhythm, and it's just been like, I was in Chicago, I went for a run and then didn't the next 2 days, and it's been just off. I felt off.
Mm-hmm.
Today felt a little bit more on.
Good.
So.
Good.
Yeah.
I would say today was certainly, if I was to map out, one of probably top 5 of like my perfect day. Like, what does it look like? What am I doing? And today I got to meet someone new. So I got to have a really great coffee conversation with someone new, and then have spent the whole afternoon doing the podcast and talking to members, which I freaking love. And so it's been full of amazing conversations with great people. And if I could do that every single day of my life, like that's a pretty big win.
Totally. Love that.
So,
Right there with you on that one.
Yeah, I have spent almost 0 time on my computer, which is always great. Yeah.
So you mentioned your kids. How old are your kids?
So I have an 8-year-old boy, Tucker, and then a 10-year-old girl, Chloe. Great ages right now. I mean, every age is great, but they're...
What are they into right now? What's the...
So Tucker's into baseball. He's playing baseball. We tried different sports and stuff. So he tried flag football and liked that, and then soccer, and he likes that. But he's like pretty into baseball stuff right now.
Very much just like the sports and the athletic route.
They're also into video games. They're dead. He was a big gamer when I met him, and then we got married, and like that settled, and he didn't play for a while. And then when the kids got old enough, I went on a trip and came home. He's like, "Hey, we got an Xbox."
So I thought
we just needed to get one.
I thought we graduated from that, but okay.
Nope, we did not. And so then all of a sudden,
That's
my
awesome.
8-year-old's playing Halo with him. Like, okay. He's like, "They're monsters, honey." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, killing monsters, not other
Yeah.
people.
So that's evolved. And my daughter likes to play too.
Does she? Okay.
That's fun.
So it's always a balance. We will play Halo with him as well, but now she's in Roblox and all that. So we try to limit that, but they do enjoy that. And we're just active family, friends. And she has a play date today. They're making slime. They're making edible slime, actually, as I was leaving. So
edible slime.
Yeah, apparently.
So,
So you
not
can do
just
it with-
slime,
Did
but
you try it on the
edible.
way out?
Right. She was like, "Here, try this." The marshmallow one. I'm like, okay. I didn't get to try the Starburst one. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just put my hands all. I mean, I don't know. What do you do with slime besides play with it? Let me just put all of my hands all over it and then eat it.
And then eat it. It'll be great. It's an immune booster. We'll call it that.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like so much of why I haven't really been someone who gets sick like a shit ton, and I think it's because I wasn't so aware of like germs and like, okay, it hit the floor. Like, I know the 5-second rule it's not real, but like,
What do you mean it's not real?
Don't shatter my beliefs.
I think I just saw a commercial recently. I don't even actually know what it was, and it was the 5-second rule, and it was something dropped on the floor, and then there was like this animation of all these germs around it, and they're like, "Are you guys ready? Are you ready?" And they like count down like 5, 4, and they like none of them are moving towards it, and then someone picks up the thing, and they're like, "Oh, we missed it."
That's fun. I wonder what that was a commercial for.
I don't know, but it was really great.
But that's how we have been with our kids. Like, we've never been like, "Oh, germs. Oh, don't touch that." I think my husband even.
Yeah, you
like,
gotta
"Oh,
play.
it fell on the floor. You need to eat it. You
Yeah.
get some germs in you."
Gotta play in the dirt.
Gotta play in the dirt a little bit, I think, in 2025. More important than ever. So that's fun. So they're 2 years apart. So we were just in Denver with my family, and I have a nephew and a niece. Same dynamic.
Okay.
He's older, she's younger.
Yeah.
2 years, he's 4 and 2. So she's just this little fearless 2-year, like
Oh,
second child syndrome.
for sure.
Like, doing things that I was like, you're tiny. Like, what are you doing up on the top of the slide thing?
Well, especially if she has a boy brother. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think my son's a little more mellow because the daughter's first. I love the 2-year age gap. I think it's great. I mean, I don't know any better. That's what I know. But even during COVID, they were 2 and 4-ish, and they were just like together all the time, and they got to be best buds. And I had friends who had only children that kind of felt bad, like, oh, my kid doesn't have someone to play with other than us.
Yeah.
But I love that they're so close. They're actually a day apart, 2 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Literally. March 6th and March 7th.
So celebrate.
Wow.
Yeah.
One big party for both
Yeah,
of you.
for the first 6 or 7 years of their life, we did a joint birthday party, which is like massive. I call it like birthday extravaganza.
Yeah.
We would invite both of their classes, and like one time we did it at the park, and we had siblings too. So there was like almost 100 people there at the park for the
Wow.
birthday.
That's a lot of
It was
tiny
a lot,
humans.
a lot of tiny,
Especially at
humans.
that age. So yeah,
Yes.
it was my nephew's birthday. He was 4, and we had about 30. And I was like, this is the most tiny humans I've ever been around, for sure. Without being one of them, without being in a classroom, right? And it I was like, this is different.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious, like, what would you say the biggest lesson that you've learned from your kids is?
Oh gosh, just like
what have
life
they taught?
lesson,
Life lesson. Like, what have they taught you? What have you?
I mean, many things. I think the first thing that comes to mind is just looking at the pure joy of life. You know, we're young, we come into this world just so pure, innocent.
So innocent,
right?
yeah.
And just in wonder of the world, and no hate towards other people, and no preconceived notions of how things should be or how we should act. And they're so jovial, and they're so just fun and full of life. And so I think we can learn a lot from and take a lot from kids, and just, be that way ourselves, because as adults, that's just not generally how we are. So,
well, it's funny how, being curious, right? And I feel like kids have that natural curiosity. How many times will a kid just like, why? And then you'd say something like, why that? They just keep asking why because they're genuinely curious. And at what point in our lives do we start losing some of that for fear of judgment, really?
Yep.
Right. So it's great to have those young minds around, to be curious, to be continuously asking why.
And we forget that things were new to us at one point, the why, and we just take that for granted. Like, we know all this stuff. And so then when they're asking the why.
Like, yeah, I don't know why I know that.
Right.
Or
Well, and it's weird to like have to articulate things sometimes because we know them, but then when you have to explain them.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, I don't know, as a parent, I believe we have a responsibility to be very intentional with our children and actually raise them. And unfortunately, I feel like there's not a lot of that happening sometimes in our world.
Yeah.
And you know, most of the things we learn and the programs we have and all of that come up until we're age 8. That's always something I've been very aware of. What are we teaching the kids? What kind of patterns are they learning? What beliefs are they creating? A lot of that's based on their environment and the world they're in, but also, you know, how we're raising them. And even just, I think, like teaching critical thinking skills. Like when my daughter asked me, like, can you do this or that? And I challenge her. I'm like, well, what do you think? How would you do it? And then she's like, well, it seems like you could press this button and it would work. Yeah. You know, instead of me giving you the answer, why don't you think about it? And I think even more so with technology and AI and all of that that's progressing in their lifetime, I think critical thinking skills is going to be one of the most important things that you can have, because that's going to
100%.
like separate you from. Before, we'd have to like think about stuff to write research papers, and now they don't have to do that. So what can we do to facilitate that in a different way?
It's a muscle, right? And
Yeah.
if I don't use the muscle, the critical thinking muscle, I lose the muscle.
Yeah, and how does it show up even in leadership with all of our work that we're doing? Am I at a company where my leadership team allows me to have those critical thinking moments and asks me, how would you do it? Versus like, oh yeah, I do X, Y, Z, and just shows me how to do it immediately, right?
Yep.
Then is that a lasting impression? And am I going to remember how to do it that way the next time? Or am I even going to like that path? Or do I allow my employees to try something, maybe figure something out, prompt them with questions that would help them think through the process of it, and maybe they even come up with a better way to do something.
Exactly. Well, and the other thing that creates is empowerment for that employee. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many parallels between so as a parent, it's a version of leadership.
It is,
right, and
definitely.
it's an opportunity. That's what. So part of the reason I asked that question, I was around these 2 kids, 4 and 2. There was so much joy. I just saw like the innocence piece, and that was very, very apparent. The other part of it was just kind of sitting and just being very interested in what was going on and just being a part of it, and just kind of having front row seats to, why did you just do that? That's fun. That's cute.
Right. Yeah, especially those ages. Yeah.
And then obviously, I mean, so for us, we stayed with my sister in her house. So from 6 a.m., kids woke up till 8 p.m.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And my sister's she's a stay-at-home mom, and I was just like, God bless you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
Seriously.
I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I do not want to be a stay-at-home mom. I mean, there are days I feel that, but generally speaking, I have a lot of respect.
Yeah.
100%. That job
You're
is
always
so
on.
hard.
Always on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't get-
There's no rest.
I told her, I'm like, your family is lucky to have you.
And she has a third on the way.
Yeah,
Wow.
and so and she's got. I'm like, she's gonna have 3 under 5. That's
a lot.
There's a tipping point there that I think you're gonna feel, but
Yeah.
can't wait to meet him.
Well, and I mean, and I think that once they pass a threshold of age, maybe it's like the school factor, and then it'll shift for her probably, and it'll be very grateful that they're all kind of in that pocket, that window of age. But these next few years,
They'll be intense.
I'm literally
Those
like,
ages.
bless you, and how can we help?
Yeah.
What can we, like, what massage spa day can we send you on, or something from afar? Because
Seriously.
I feel like,
it.
yeah, yes, absolutely.
But it points to like seasons of life, I feel like, just kind of came up as we were talking about that, you know, because I was in that season, not a stay-at-home mom, but I just remember when my kids were that young, it was a much different experience as a parent, because you do have a lot more responsibility. They're more dependent on you. Mm-hmm. It's just a little more intense. Now, of course, they're still dependent on me. They're obviously like driving themselves around or picking up the phone, but they're a lot more self-sufficient, and they're becoming more like little humans versus just little babies.
Right.
And so it's a different season of a parent for me than it is. And I also just having lots of friends in different ages of life. I have friends in their early 50s who have kids, you know, that are graduating from high school.
Right.
That's a whole different season that I'll be in, right? Once they get into high school, and then you're in going to her soccer games. Well, I go to soccer games now, but you know what I
Right.
mean.
Yeah.
It's a different season
Yeah.
of parenting.
Well, I think that was the other thing that really hit me was the appreciation. So for someone like you that works full time, does all these things, and you're out at events a lot, so running this business, it was like, how does anyone fucking have kids? And
Right.
Seriously.
Right.
Like how
And work.
how
And,
does this? How are you functioning?
Yeah.
How are you not crazy? Because again, stay-at-home mom version of it, and my sister's amazing, and her husband works and is able to kind of, like, she's fortunate enough to be able to do that, and obviously
Right.
not everyone has the means to be able to do that.
Right.
And at the same time, I was just like, how does this culturally, like, what? This is crazy. That
Oh, it was mind blowing. Eric and I, we had a long car ride going to visit one of my friends during this trip, and we both just sat there thinking about, wow, I can't imagine. We have so many members of 6 Degrees who have families and are working all day and just grinding and doing it all, and then going home and parenting. And I'm like, I don't know that I could do both of those things.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, once
that
you make
is
the decision, you don't get the choice.
Oh, it's so, I mean,
You're in
that
it.
just seemed.
You're in it. Yeah. You just do it.
Yeah, right. It's like now I just have to figure it out.
no
Yeah.
no manual, no
No.
crash course of how to be it. Like, there's one of my favorite sayings is, just because I have more kids doesn't ever make me a better parent. So it's
that.
like, I could have 10 of them.
It's true.
Doesn't mean I'm any better.
Right. You hope you learn a couple
You hope-
lessons as they come along. But yeah.
Well, the other part of it is, so each of my kids get a different parent because they
Yeah.
get a different version of
Totally.
me
Oh,
That's
that's
so true.
So true.
with this. So I already
Yeah.
did it with the one time. So with your daughter, you kind of, I remember with my sister, she probably went through like 30 diapers a day. And I'm like, I don't know the right number of diapers, but this seems a little excessive.
Right.
and now like the kids are just running around. She's like, I probably need to change the diaper. It's fine.
I can fit a little of it. Yeah. I think for me, I mean, I've been blessed in a lot of ways with a supportive partner, and also my mom's local.
Sure, yeah.
So when
the
I was
parent
working,
support.
she helps with the kids. She moved out here and is pretty much retired. She has some side gigs, but she's been a huge factor in me being able to do that because, yes, of course, I still had to come home and parent and give them a bath and all of that, but I knew they were in good hands
Right.
Yeah.
if they weren't in school
Right.
or like even today, like this week, they're getting out of camp at noon, so she's picking them up until my husband and I are ready to be done working. So it would be really hard if I didn't have that, but some people make enough money they can pay to have a nanny, or they can pay
Yeah.
for those things. But then also, as you always have the mom dynamic, right?
Right.
Working mom dynamic of guilt, oh, I'm working too much, or I'm home too much, I'm not working enough.
Yeah. So as someone that's really active out in the world and
Yeah.
being a mom, and like, I'm just more and more, I was like, this is something that I don't have much experience with.
Right.
And I'm so interested in, like,
Yeah.
how do you fucking do it?
Well, I think exactly. And I look at some of my
Tell
friends
me
that do
how.
them more than me, and I'm like, how's she fucking doing it? Because she don't have Nana around,
Yeah.
It's hard. And over the years, it's just been different. I've always worked for myself and been able to really create my own hours. But at
Yeah.
the same time, also because you're working for yourself, you have to be disciplined enough to put the hours in. So it's not like I'm not working as much as other people, but I feel like having a little more flexibility helps.
Sure.
That's definitely why I chose what I'm doing now. I had, unlimited opportunities to do whatever I really want to do, but I wanted to do something I could have a flexible schedule with.
Yeah. And you've been at Morrison how long?
I've been at Morrison for a little over 2 years
2
now.
years. Okay.
And before that, I had an agency with 2 partners. So
Yep.
I was business owner with them through COVID for 3.5 years. And then 10 years before that, I was with Aflac.
Right.
And we ran our own business doing that too.
Got it.
So I feel like I have a little more freedom and flexibility in my schedule than maybe someone who has a corporate job that, I'd have friends that they would have to go, pre-COVID, they'd have to go into an office and they'd have to be there for 9 hours. And there were some that were larger corporations that would actually have a childcare in their facility. So
Right.
they could drop their kid off and go work for 8 hours and then come, breastfeed them throughout the day if they needed to. That was interesting. One of my friends had worked for a large organization. And then I feel like once they start to kind of go to school, you're alleviated a little bit. So it really is kind of those first 4 or 5 years probably
Right.
that's super intense. But it has been a challenge over the years of trying not to have the mom guilt. And when I was with the agency that I was running with the partners, it ended up just getting out of control for me because owners, right? You wear a lot of hats. We're trying to grow. We're all trying to be, synergized together with the 3 of us, and you want to push and you want to grow, but there's only so many hours in a day. And so it had gotten to a point where I was totally burnt out, but I was still pushing because it was like, we're going to make this work.
Yeah.
We burned the boats a long time ago. No plan B. You know, I was like committed. But I kind of looked up and I thought, you know what? I'm going to be so mad at myself 10 years from now that I ran myself into the ground, did not spend time with my kids, was not present. I think presence in life in general is such a huge thing. Whether you're present with who you're sitting with, having conversations, or you're present with your children. And even though I was home, I wasn't that present because I was always thinking about work.
Yeah.
They'd be watching a movie and I'd be like, oh, I can sneak into my home office for an hour and like bust out some emails, right? And it's just, you're constantly thinking of that. And I just felt like I was in the hamster wheel. Like I wasn't getting to where I thought we'd be going and we weren't being profitable. And so I'm like, I'm not making money. I'm totally burning myself out. I'm not spending time with my children. This isn't what life's about.
Yeah.
Like,
where's the joy? Where's the
I'm
joy?
out.
Where's the joy coming from at that point? Right?
Why am I even doing this?
Yeah.
And so that was a big thing for me. And so when I stepped out of that, I was like, okay, what do I want to create? What role do I want to go in? And I knew I loved the broker role because, yeah, I had to rebuild and you're in sales and there's all of that, but I get to create my own schedule and I get to do it my way. And I've loved that. I have been able to go to the baseball game at 4:00 in the afternoon to watch my son, right? And even more so now, I've just really felt like I have the liberty to create my own schedule. And that's something that I'm working with. I always have been, but I've been more in like an industrial mindset that's been ingrained in me like over the years, and especially my partners had in the business that I was working in.
Right. You got to be working 40 hours a week.
40 hours a week.
Or 50, or you own the business, so it's 60 minimum. If anything below
or
that
you're really not
isn't
making
enough.
it, or you know,
Yeah.
these are the business hours. And so if you're not in your like platinum hours when you could be speaking, of course there's validity to that in the sense that if I need to be speaking with business owners, I need to be doing it at times that they're available during the day. But do I really, if I wanted to spend a little extra time in the morning to have some self-care or set up my day, I've just felt more liberated around that over the last couple months, even to not feel like I have to be so pigeonholed into that like 8 hours where, yeah, if we want to work on a Sunday to prep for the week, we can or we cannot.
Yeah.
And so that's been a shift for me.
That's been something
in a good way.
That's been something newer for me of just understanding. I'll feel guilty about, I didn't work 8 hours today or 10 hours today, and I'm the grind hustle piece of it where it's even today. So we had conversations, and so do conversations count as work? Right. It's like, no, actually, yeah, they do. Right.
Yeah.
But my brain doesn't register it that way. No, I didn't do the emails, all the shoulds and oughts and all the stuff that's sitting there.
So easy
it's
to
like
get caught in
we
that.
almost associate the hard shit that we don't want to do, or like the tasks or the emails, as like that's the work, versus you've invited us to the Padres, you guys' suite, and that was amazing. And it's like, is this work or is it fun, or can it just be both? Like, right? Why do we have to say that that's not work? Or I've been working all day today. Has it been the enjoyable stuff that I love to do? Yes, that's what I want to fill more of my days with, rather than, oh yeah, I'm working and I'm on my email all day.
Right. There's a part of me that just there's a mental. So one of my first jobs was construction. So it was like there's like a physical aspect of I'm tired.
Yep.
There's a struggle to it, and I've associated that with what hard work should be. And so when I have a day where it's full of conversations and it's a different kind of mental toll, but I still feel like there's part of me that's just, but you used to do this, and that was literally draining. Like I would wake up at 4 a.m. to get down the 5 o'clock train to get down to the construction site to be there at 6 and and home and do it again, right?
And at the same time, so yes, we still have energy right now because we're in it, and who's to say we're not going to step away or get home and be like, oof, okay, I'm tired because my brain was working so much for the last 6 hours.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm saying. So I know I won't, because I'm more of the extrovert. I'm around,
this is energizing.
So the energy that I feel actually feels guilty. It's like guilty energy almost, right?
Yeah.
Where it's and there's all these other things as a business owner. There's all these things that I could be doing or should be doing that maybe would be more productive for certain parts of the business. And
or it's perceived more productive.
And it's just never ending.
Right.
It is never ending.
Exactly.
And and I just There's so much societal buildup of what we're talking about, right? Like the industrial work and this hustle culture and if you want it, it has to be hard and you have to strive to like get success. Who the hell came up with that shit anyways?
Seriously. Seriously.
What the fuck? Like, why does it have to be hard? Yeah. Yes, maybe it's hard for some people. I'm not saying it hasn't been hard for people to build businesses, but if we go into it with that mentality, then it's going to be self-fulfilling prophecy.
Or maybe it's hard in certain moments of our work. Like, okay, all right, if I go back to tribes and everyone really had roles of the community, let's just say like the hunters, for example. Okay, so their work was really hard for like a day or two or whenever the hunt was. And then they're good until we run out of meat and they need to go hunt again. Other people in the community are the ones who are going to take apart the carcass or whatever all the roles are.
Right.
And then the same thing with like the farming and the gardening and everything else. It's okay, there's a part of my day that might be hard or I might be doing tasks. Then everything else is community and people and how do we help each other. So there's parts of our work that we're not going to like to do and it quote unquote could be hard because I dislike it.
Right.
But then everything else, why can't it be fun or why can't it be energizing?
I think part of it is we're, as business owners, I'm wearing so many more hats
No,
than
totally,
just
totally.
like the hunter hat. And to use your
100%.
analogy.
Right now,
It's like, I'm not just a hunter. No, I'm a hunter. I have to cook
Gather,
it. I have to wash the dishes. I have to like.
Well, and that was a big thing for me. I realized like on the burnout side, right? I was wearing all the hats. So when I decided to step back and do something else, I was like, I don't think I want to wear all the hats. Like, I want to go somewhere that those hats are being filled.
Someone else is wearing these hats.
And I can focus on my highest and best. And I know what that is, right?
Yeah.
That's on the front end. That's building connections. That's doing the sales. What drains me is doing the back end stuff that someone else could be doing for me. So I appreciate being in this role now that a lot of that is already taken care of. Like, I don't have to go negotiate with the CRM people to get a better deal because I'm starting a CRM for us. Like, that's already been handled.
Right.
And
Right.
have your hats more just shifted in the mom role and how many hats come with the mom role of am I teaching, am I a friend, am I a mom, am I right, because those all come into play in that relationship. And so it sounds like prioritizing, I'd rather wear those hats right now for my life right now and be that for my family and step aside from all those hats that could be in the business. Whereas like Eric and I, we don't have kids, so wearing all the hats in the business right now, like, yes, it's challenging, and so is being a parent, of course. And so for now, this is what we're able to handle, and eventually we'll keep growing the team and people will wear the hats that we're currently wearing, and as we grow teams, more challenges come from that. So it's not like it ends.
It does not end. You're right. It just depends on what hat you want to have on. Yeah.
Well, I think back to your point is this struggle that I want to have.
Right.
That's going to get me to the life that I want, that I actually want, or fast forward 10 years
Right.
and just look back and go, well, that was not it.
Right. That wasn't, the path I was on was not it.
Right.
I knew it wasn't.
Right. So kudos to you for realizing that.
Yeah. Thank you. That was a
did.
really hard thing to do.
I'm sure.
To step away from that.
I'm sure.
That was really hard. Like one of the hardest things I've had to do. Because I was so committed.
Yeah.
Financially committed, energetically committed,
loyalty, like
all of that.
Yeah.
Like I'm
you
not
were
a
close
quitter.
with your partners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? They
Right.
weren't. It wasn't just someone.
That's part of my values. Yes, and I was very close with my partners. I've
Yeah.
been working with them for 14 years by that point.
Well,
Fun
yeah,
time.
and honestly, like I know, like you're not a quitter. I mean, even with 6 Degrees, something that you have expressed is, do I renew because I don't know if this is producing the ROI of like new business. And so part of the conversation with us, and I know that, and I think you two talked a little bit more in depth about it, but it's okay, cool. Can we, one, provide ROI in a different way? And can that help eventually with other maybe deals that you're trying to close? And also, okay, so how can we support more and how can we get you what you need to
Right.
make this make sense? Because I can feel that loyalty piece from you. And I also want to make sure that this is the right fit for you.
Right.
Right.
Doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah,
and not just to be
absolutely.
loyal.
Like, I
Right.
want to make sure that that's how I feel about any person who's part of this. Is I absolutely, if this isn't serving someone, okay, I get that. And let's find something different or find something that's going to support you more.
Yeah.
So when I feel that loyalty from someone, I'm like 100%, and I want to reciprocate that. And how do we get you to what you need for it to
Right.
make sense for you?
No, and that's really what separates you guys from a lot of other like organizations that do what you do.
Sure.
You actually care. You know, like and you want and you care. And not to say that other people don't, but sometimes you're just another person in the organization. They're like, oh, it's not working. Okay, we'll fill your spot with someone else tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
So, I mean, that's one of the things I love about the uniqueness of this organization. Why I want to continue to be a part of it because it is different.
Yeah. I mean,
It's much different.
yeah. I mean, sometimes like care, I almost feel like care too much. Like it's,
And you can.
and
Sometimes.
I've
Not you. I mean, the proverbial, the collective, you can.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what's hard. Again, I mean, back to being the business owner piece, it's not always knowing 100%. Like, is this the right thing to be doing? Is this over here? And again, kind of the paradigm shifts that are happening. And we've had the conversations of growing the business and how much should be off of referral and networking versus maybe going out and hunting more. And
right.
and again, kind of those tapes that we've heard or models of success that we've seen can lend itself to that. Like, this is the way
Sure.
it
You
needs
got to
to
make
be done.
I need you to make 100 phone calls.
Right,
If
'cause
you
this
don't make
is-
the 100
this-
phone calls,
right.
then
And I've been doing a lot of introspection and all that over the last couple months. And,
Yeah.
and one of the things I asked myself was like, if it could be the way you wanted it to be, right? Or if everything could be the way you wanted it to be, what would that look like?
yeah.
And that would look like me just networking all the time, meeting great referral partners, and then them sending me clients. Like, that's what it would look like.
Right.
It doesn't look like me banging on 50 doors to get one client because I caught them on a good day, and maybe if they get pissed off 6 months from now, they go to the other person that walked in their door, right? It's like-
Exactly.
but it's like, why does success have to look like this? It's like there's lots of different ways to do things, and that's something over the last couple of years I've had to find for myself, because when I originally stepped into my organization, I stepped in with two very successful males, agency owner in the business 30 plus years, running his agency for 22. The other sales agent had been there for 10 years, very successful. And so I think I kind of felt like, okay, I want to emulate what they did for their success.
Sure.
But then as that's unfolded and as I've come into my own and understood more, I'm realizing like, well, no, everyone builds things differently. And that doesn't mean I can't take pieces of what they did to be successful, but I don't have to do the same things they did, right? Like, I
Right.
don't have to join ACG because that's what Sean did and that's where he had success. Like, maybe that's not my jam. Like, maybe I'm better off at 6 Degrees or
Right.
somewhere else or a women's networking group
Yeah.
because I jive with that. I don't necessarily have to be a golfer, I'm
Yeah.
still learning golf and I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I still
I'm gonna,
continue
I'm gonna,
to do it.
I'm gonna
but
still invite you.
yeah, I'm still coming. I'm still learning. I still love golf, but it's like that doesn't have to be my thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
It's not my thing. I've already declared I will not do it.
yeah,
so.
and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But it's just this idea of, okay, I can make success what I want it to look like for me and not necessarily feel like I have to do the things that other people have done.
Right.
Well, so a huge part of yes, there's this like culture around this cold calling piece. I have to make 100 calls a day, or have to go knock on 50 doors,
Yep.
or whatever that thing might be. And if I'm someone who gets depleted from that and gets
Right.
depleted from so many no's, because it is only going to be 1 in 100 or whatever the statistic is, and I figured out for myself, that absolutely does not work for me. I cannot be told no that many times to be fulfilled and to want to even keep going. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm done. I quit. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I don't put myself in that position. And I think also, if I'm picking up the phone 100 times just to maybe hit one and I hate it, I think that's going to be very
100%.
apparent on
Very
the other
apparent.
side of the phone.
Yep.
Like, that person will feel that energy.
Yes.
For sure.
And so why put myself through that? Why not, to your point, go do the things that fulfill me
Yep.
and give me joy and put me in a position that I can build a relationship that I'm excited about, and maybe even approach the relationship in a very different way. That's going to fill my cup up more. I'm going to be more excited to do those activities,
Yep.
and that's going to lead to more business.
100%.
So there's plenty of people who love the cold calling
Right.
and have so much success
like
for it. Put them in that shoe.
The thrill of the chase.
Yes.
Right.
Put them there then.
Yes.
That's great. Go find the people
Right.
who you want to identify as like, I love cold calling. I want to do cold calling every single day.
Well,
Cool.
Well, I think there's an important distinction between having a list of people that I really want to work with, and I'm just trying to figure out how to work. We've talked
How to
about
get in
this.
front of them. Right.
How do
Yeah,
I?
and
So
work with
this name the company that's on the top of my list, and I would love it because of my experience with this brand, or
Yep.
I love how they're involved in the community. There's a difference between having that list
Yep.
and having the printouted list of just like, here's 100 numbers,
Yep.
go, and auto dial, and
Right.
just, and even AI is gonna
Or like hit
Change
that
that.
business plaza over there with 10 businesses and maybe half of them aren't
Right.
qualified. You know, you walk in the door anyways and waste your time.
Yeah, but I
don't
did.
know
But I
how
did.
that-
But I did the thing.
Yeah, but I did the thing. I went to the 10 doors.
I went and did the work.
I
Yeah.
checked off. I checked the box.
Right. I feel like that's been, again, the model of success. And then if you don't do that, then it's like, oh, well, you're not going to be successful if you're not doing it this
Right.
way.
Yeah.
But I love even AI for that stuff because I've started to shift and I used AI a couple different ways. And I'm like, I want to create like my dream 50 list, to your point, right? And actually go after them and find partners that are aligned with
Right.
with me.
Who do I
You
know
know?
that's connected to the person who I want to work with?
Right. And how do I get in front of them versus, just having these lists. And maybe it's a target market of mine, but it's not as intentional as handpicking kind of
Right.
those.
So yeah, if
50.
someone handed me a list of 100, I'm probably going to go through and be like, okay, these 20 act, because there's value to someone doing some pre-work and giving me a list, but it's like these
Yes.
20 are actually
The ones.
right, and maybe
Yeah.
it makes sense to call them and just see what happens to the 20.
Right.
Maybe.
Or have a right. Or have
Right.
a plan going in. But I listened to a podcast, old school, I don't know, you know who Louise Hay is?
I don't know.
Louise
don't.
Hay.
I don't know
She's
Louise
like
Hay.
old school, like kind of like a Tony Robbins type,
Okay.
but female. And my mom had her like audiobooks and her books, and I ran across a podcast that and it was like a modern day one, so
Like a
obviously
recent,
she's still around
recent
and all
feature
that.
on it. Nice.
But it was talking about don't chase, attract. And that really resonated with me, right? Because
Yeah.
to me, making the dials and doing all of that is like chasing after people.
Yep.
Whereas if I can truly connect with the right people, I can be in the right space, I'm going to attract those people to. That's what I want.
Yep.
That's the energy I want.
Yeah.
That's where it's fun.
100%.
And so again, kind of going back to the paradigm shift that I've been in lately, it's okay. Yeah, let's attract those people. And what does that look like? And what space do I need to be in to attract? It's not in this hyper energy running 100 miles an hour on the hamster wheel trying to put my
Chasing,
10
yeah.
hours in chasing people. It's not. That's
Right.
not where I want to be. And so what if I could be more in that space and I could do something for 6 hours this day and only work for 5 hours on Friday? I could be more impactful doing that than just running myself into the
Yeah,
Yep.
we were talking to someone recently about they've had similar shift of being more introspective, and he's like, yeah, I try to just in the middle of the day, I just turn off the lights, lock myself in a small room, kind of thing, and just what do I want, and have it come to me.
Yeah.
And he had a couple
Well-
of things that was like that worked.
Oh, honestly, I mean, his business has skyrocketed recently. He's been attracting
Yep.
so much good in his business. It's
So,
been
yeah,
working.
What frequency am I operating on?
Yeah.
So much of this conversation is kind of what we've talked about at some level, but we all have all the seeds are planted already.
Right.
We don't need more.
Yeah.
We need depth,
Yep.
not width.
Right. Well, and that's something I struggle with a little bit just because I love people. I love meeting new people. I love all of that. And, you know, I'm a part of a couple different networking type things. And so, yeah, at what point is it like, wait, it can be too expansive. You want to be able to go deep too. And
Well, yeah. And this is something.
It's balance.
There's a balance between meeting new people and getting to know them to a certain level.
Yeah.
Because think about anyone in your life where if you can just kind of pick it up where you left them because you grew up with them.
Right.
And that's not everyone. And that's
No.
not going to be everyone.
Right.
And there's a certain level that if we get to a certain place, yeah, Heather, how are you doing? And we can
Yeah.
pick it up. Right.
Right.
But that's not designed, like, not everyone's supposed to be this super deep in like conversational
Right, it doesn't have to
relationship.
be.
And who gets put into what bucket, which bucket needs attention, and
Yep.
scaling that outside of 100 people and mixing our families, mixing our friends, and it just, the professional side of it is like, that's a challenge.
Right. Well, and there's some reciprocity there, ideally, you want to have, right? So if I have 5 people that do the same thing, it's kind of hard for me to reciprocate all the time because I might not have the opportunity to.
Right. That card, I can only play so many.
Right.
I have a client, I have 5 people that I could refer to. Which one of them?
Right. I mean, you want to give back. I will say, I think one way to do that not do that better, but as you were saying, like having so many, how do you juggle that and all of that? I think when you're really authentic, like when you're just an authentic person, that people love that, right?
Yeah.
And they want more, and they see you for who you are always, instead of just, some people kind of put up the walls until they feel more comfortable with someone.
Sure.
And then they're becoming more authentic, and so you're gonna have a longer path of cultivating those relationships if you're waiting till you feel more comfortable to truly let your guard down.
Christina, you and I have talked about authentic before, and I'm not going to have the same conversation that we had. But I think there's a authentic for who? Authentic for myself, like what you talked about, like there's a bunch of different ways to get to success.
Right.
And this actually didn't feel authentic to you, so it made you shift gears and go, no, I want to be more of a mom, and I want to, but I could say I'm authentically showing up in this professional setting, but it feels like a mask, or it feels like a facade, right?
Right.
But I think to your point is like when I'm around someone that really is authentically themselves, I feel that in a very different way.
Yep.
Right. And there is no kind of switching gears or trying to game the system type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think
are they going to be more relaxed next time I see them? Because they've seen me twice now.
I think, for better or worse. I think part of that is by consistency, like over time, consistency, and over time, I get to kind of understand what is your authentic self. What is my authentic self?
Right.
Because I think it's different, right? Like I can be around Christina as much as I'm around Christina, and I can see her like code switch or change around someone else. Oh, that wasn't you. You've called me out on that, where I don't know, fake laugh type thing, or
it was the laugh for this person in this moment because of the relationship. And then, I mean, where my brain went just with you saying that was like, does anyone know my deep to my core, absolute authentic self? Because I will say that there's parts of me that come out when I have the house to myself and I am 1,000% alone, and I just get to act and be weird and like
most people don't see that
completely come out of every
I
part
think
of
the
me.
question is, do each of us know ourselves that in depth? Because if I don't, then the answer is no. No one else is gonna. No one else could possibly even have an idea of what that's like. Yeah,
I mean, I just know that like when I'm at home by myself, I certainly show up a little differently than even what you've seen me.
I've walked into it. Like you have you have headphones on, you're screaming, singing songs, and I'm just like,
that Tom Cruise movie.
She doesn't know I'm
the
here.
Underwear where he runs out of the room.
Was it Risky Business?
Yeah, Risky Business. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah. So truthfully, I talk out loud so much when I'm by myself.
Okay.
I talk out loud. I'm having a conversation with my inner monologue almost. Like, I don't know. I'm speaking out loud a lot. And I don't do that with other people around because it's fucking weird. Is it
though? I don't know.
That's a weird thing to do. So when I do get the house to myself, it's such a joy. I am just talking a lot.
To yourself.
Literally to myself. People would think it's crazy. It's not like I hear voices and I'm talking to voices. It's more just I'm basically speaking my inner monologue out loud instead of keeping it inside my head.
Right.
And I feel like that would be a really weird thing to do in front of humans just constantly.
Constantly, yes, maybe it might. Depends on who you're around too. But it lends itself to, we have layers, right? I definitely have some people in my life that get the true, like, complete authentic Heather. Not a lot get that. But I think just as humans, like, interacting in society, sometimes we think, oh, well, this is weird, right? It's weird that I talk to myself out loud, so I'm going to do it around this person, but I'm going to stop doing that around everyone else. And that's just one example. That's kind of extreme, because maybe it might be kind of weird if we did that. But just different ways we show up Because again, sometimes we feel like, oh, it might be weird if I do it this way.
We're all weird.
I mean, we are. I'm sorry, if you're not weird, then you're weird.
Then you're weird.
It would be
if you're
weird.
normal, you're weird.
It
Sorry.
would be weird to not be
It
weird.
would be weird to not be weird.
So I think you're right. It's like we show up authentically, and authentic can look different in front of different people. It doesn't mean that I'm not being authentic. It doesn't mean that I'm not being true to who I am.
Right.
I'm being true for the environment that I'm currently in, and for how safe I feel in this environment,
Yes.
for how much of a level of Christina I'm going to show right now. And it doesn't mean that I'm being fake. It's more, I'm reading the room.
Yep.
I'm very aware of who I'm with and the environment that I'm in. And yeah, I'm going to show up differently watching a Chiefs game than I am going to show up being in one of our group stretches with 6 Degrees. Both of them are very authentic to who I am.
Right.
And so I think people sometimes, I guess, like the mask conversation of, ooh, is this person, are they real or are they fake? Or are they adjusting to their environments?
Right. Because it is different. Adjusting and being a chameleon is different than being a different person.
Right.
In different environments.
100%.
Yeah. Because they can be more reserved. And like if other people are stronger personalities,
Right.
let them be them. But it's different than, I don't know.
Authenticity is such an interesting word to me, because if I'm an asshole, am I just sorry? I'm being authentic.
I mean, kind of. Right? That's authentic to you if you're an asshole.
Is it? I don't know.
That's a good question. Maybe we should look up the definition of
Well,
authenticity.
it's funny because so he mentioned we had a whole conversation about authenticity, and we did, and I completely cut it. I've never used it.
It made us sound like it made me sound like an
It
asshole.
did make Eric sound a little bit like an asshole.
That's probably why you haven't used it. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, we're not going to use that. And it was interesting because I could understand the point of where you were taking it. And it's funny because not only did we have that on recording, it also came up in a conversation at a dinner one time, and he received pushback from the people in the dinner.
Yeah.
And I'm going to reiterate this, and maybe it won't sound like an asshole. I don't know. It was, if I've hired someone to do a job and they are coming in as like, I'm my authentic self, so that means I'm showing up bratty today or whatever the thing might be.
I'm hungover from
Oh
the
yeah,
night
okay.
before.
Hungover might be a really good example because sure, you're showing up hungover, so that's authentic, I guess, to who you are and maybe what you did the night before. And there's also a job that I have hired you to show up for.
Right.
And there have been expectations laid out of what I need from you at this job. So how does that show up for that person? And are they going to be like, well, I'm hungover, so I'm just going to put my sunglasses on and not do shit today and pretend like I'm tapping on my computer? Okay,
Yeah.
So sure, you're showing up authentically, but you're fired. I don't know. Like,
right.
like, that's not what you're here for.
Well, the example, if Christina was going to surgery, do I want the surgeon to authentically have a bad day while she's being operated on?
Right.
Like, no, I need the professional to be a professional. So what's the balance of authenticity?
Right. Well, you introduce another layer too, though, of authentic to your values and your truths.
Yes.
Okay, so that surgeon might have a bad day and they can authentically talk to the person next to them about how shitty it is. But if part of their values is to always be on when I'm on surgery because I have other people's lives in my hands,
Sure.
then they might shift their behavior to align with that part of their authentic self.
I really like that a lot.
That employee that came in hungover, if part of their values is I'm going to show up to work, if you interviewed them and they're like, I'm always going to show up this way, I'm always going to make sure that I do the job, they might authentically look hungover and be like, I feel like shit, but they're still going to do the job
Right.
because that's part of their values. And they're going to, when you align,
Versus, well, what do you mean I'm here? I showed up, meaning
right.
I'm physically here.
Yeah.
That's enough.
yeah. Like, no, it's
So
not.
no, I love tying it to what are my personal values related to my own authentic self and my own how I want to show up in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
I appreciate that perspective for
Yeah.
sure.
It's so multidimensional, though. I mean, to
Yeah,
our
it's
point,
very nuanced.
right?
It's a very nuanced
Like-
conversation. But the way this whole thing started was we love authenticity. We
Right.
when we feel it and we see it, right?
People gravitate to that. That's something I've experienced.
Yeah, it's almost, I mean, authentic, and it's showing up vulnerably. Like if someone's being vulnerable with me, then my guards also go down.
Right.
Then the connection is happening. So how can I connect with someone? That's really where now I can be vulnerable, I can be authentic, I can be my true self. And so how can we accomplish connection in all different kinds of environments?
Yep.
So would you say if I'm not being vulnerable, I'm not being authentic?
I think there's layers to vulnerability too.
Yeah.
It's how vulnerable do I want to show up right now? So the question of how are you, and people, I mean, we talked about this already earlier today, and it's, well, how am I going to answer that question? Am I going to be very transparent and honest? Am I going to do the, oh yeah, no, I'm good, right? Because that's the standard of how we answer that question. So I think there's levels of being able to show a little bit vulnerability. And I certainly, when I experience someone opening up a little bit and being a little bit more vulnerable, then okay, cool. Like my walls also are going to come down, and now we can show a little bit more of authenticity in the sense of who Christina really is, maybe even behind closed doors, or not all the way to me just talking out loud with my inner voice, but maybe closer to that with somebody. Right. So I am showing more of my personality and who I am.
I guess I look at it like we can have a dial of, depending on who we're around and what situation we're in, of us, and like a dial of this is all me, but maybe you see a little like more subdued me, or you will see what's not authentic is someone that's a totally different person.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what's different. To me, there's a difference there. And I guess as we talk about it more, I think authentic is, like we're saying, like you're aligned in your values and what you stand for and who you want to interact with. And so if someone's constantly changing those depending on where they're at or who they're interacting with, that's not authentic.
Got it. Okay, so to go back to the asshole part, it would be like if I'm a family person at home and then at work I'm the asshole, and I'm like, this is me. Sorry, at work I need to be the asshole to get shit done. But I've seen you be so sweet with your kids.
Right. Yeah.
We had the family thing where it's like,
yeah.
there's a disconnect, right? So I guess maybe
disconnect.
When there's a disconnect and I can experience the disconnect, it breaks the authenticity or the experience of authenticity.
I'm laughing because it's reminding me of the customer service voice. So many times that I'd be working at a bar and I'd be talking to someone who I'm working with, and there's this conversation, it's all drama, and I'm like, oh my God, like this person, blah, 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 XYZ. And then all of a sudden the phone rings and it's like, hi, thank you for calling Gaslight. How can I help you?
Shift. Yeah.
Totally. Right? It's just a completely different voice from what I was just saying. Yeah. And it's funny because people just like call each other out. Ooh, there's your customer service voice.
Yes. It is.
That's real.
Well, you just aligned in your value of customer service at that point. Right?
Yeah. I mean, that's true. It's like how drastic it is in an environment of bartending and serving.
Yeah, it's a good example.
Here I am showing customer service with people that I'm attending to at my tables, and then because of my relationship with the people who I work with and the things that we do together during the shift, after the shift, I mean, there's a lot of alcohol involved, all the things, and so the way I even speak is different, and it's an instant shift. Am I being authentic in both settings? Yeah, I am. I'm being authentic to who I'm speaking with.
Yeah, it is a fascinating conversation as we're talking about it.
I know, it is really.
If I'm being authentic to who I'm speaking with, am I being authentic? How am I still being authentic to myself is what I'm...
Well, which version of myself?
Right. Well, it's the range. There's the dial piece.
The dial.
There's a range. There's a dial. There's, to your point, it's multidimensional. So
it's hard to unravel. Right.
We probably need to look up the definition of authenticity.
We do. And I still say it has something to do with aligning in your values, your true self.
Yeah.
Right?
I really appreciate that layer added to this conversation. I think it's
really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then you're out of alignment and then you're not authentic.
Well, as an adjective, the dictionary says of undisputed origin, genuine, Which, for the fact that they even use genuine in
know.
the definition of authentic, I'm like,
So look up
okay,
genuine.
but that's
All
just
right,
another
then what's genuine?
Because then, like, literally right under it, it goes, like, the second definition goes straight to music, which is crazy.
Oh, interesting.
It's Greek
But
origin.
genuine and authentic are typically used fairly interchangeably.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious what genuine definition is then.
Ah, it's so interesting. I almost feel like authentic has been one of those words that, I don't want to say it's been weaponized, but it's been used in a way that can almost polarize people, right? It's been used in a way that can be negative when it's like, no, I'm just trying to be me, bro.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, where did that come from? Was that like Webster?
it's just Google. Well, yeah, they do the
Or is that-
Oxford
You didn't chat it.
languages.
You must not have put that on chat. I would have given you more.
I can do a chat
Give me
GPT it.
Give me an AI.
Okay.
Give
All
me
right.
an AI
What is
aggregated.
AI? All right. So define.
Dude, AI is
Authentic.
nuts in so many ways. I know you guys have already had this conversation with other people.
It's nuts.
But I will say, not to tangent us, I want you to put that in. But something I did with one of my mentors, and she's been using AI more on the almost like woo-woo level, if that
Sure.
makes sense.
Sure.
And some prompt she had us put in was like something along the lines of, I'm a millionaire producer, whatever number you want to put there. My business is rocking. Like, I've called in all my aligned partners, like blah, blah, blah. And we're 12 months from now. What did I do starting now in the last 12 months to get
To
me there?
get there.
Ooh.
And I was like, whoa. And then it was like, it shows all the different
Yeah,
things. And
yeah.
some of them, you know, I was like,
Some of them you're already doing.
right.
Some of them,
But some of them like, oh, it was just very interesting to use chat that way.
Mm.
Again, tangenting because we're using chat. But I'm just like, whoa. Yeah. So I've been
There's
trying to do
so
more.
many things to do with this
Yeah.
tool. It's crazy. Well, this didn't really help because it says authentic means being genuine. Genuine, real, and true to oneself or something's origin without imitation, exaggeration, or pretense. Okay, that actually is helpful.
That is.
Because without imitation, exaggeration, and pretense, I think is how we can be authentic to ourselves in different environments.
Right.
Without, I'm not imitating anything. I'm not
Right.
exaggerating anything.
And
that-
I don't have a set agenda. Pretense to me would be I have a set agenda. I'm trying to, I'm gaming this
Right.
situation.
Right.
Yep, that's helpful.
Well, right. And it's like pretending, kind of like pretending to be someone you're not.
Right.
right.
It's the opposite of being authentic.
Well, so I guess the like tangent to this conversation is like the fake it till you make it conversation, which is so how authentic is fake it till I make it to put myself in the $1 million producer.
Right.
How do I, because a lot of people will say that, and I actually don't know that it's great advice, right? It's how do I authentically show up in a way that's getting me closer to the place that I want to be,
Right.
versus burning all the ships and going like, no, like this, I am this now.
Right.
Well, with the fake it till you make it, and even with what you just said about using AI to be like, okay, I'm a $1 million producer. Can I use fake it till you make it, or can I use it as a mentality more than I know all my shit and I'm here and I am the thing without already being the thing? But mentally, can I use that as I'm gonna mentally be in a state of whatever the thing is, the goal is, and so it's not being disingenuous about it.
Well, I think those are like to your point. Those are two different things. There's
Yeah.
fake it till I make it, where it's a mindset, and
Yeah.
I'm shifting my mindset, and maybe some behaviors. I'm doing some things that I don't normally do, versus like completely swinging the pendulum the other way, drastically going like, well, no, I'm this now.
In a way, though, sometimes when you align with, if that's who I want to be now, maybe a couple years from now.
100%. I actually take back what I just said.
okay,
I
right?
said,
Because
yeah.
if I go, and this is kind of actually a world I'm living in right now. It's I want to be here. Like if I wanted to paint my perfect world, what would my perfect day look like? It'd look like going and doing this. I would love to have like a nicer vehicle. I want to be able to take vacations with my kids. Like
Yeah.
I have this painted world of what I'd like it to be.
Yeah.
And I'm here and I'm there. So how do I get from here to there? Well, part of that is actually like
experiencing
experiencing
the
this.
thing
So
that
maybe I do
experiencing
go
there.
buy the
I
car when
guess-
I'm not supposed to like put myself into that reality more.
What I would just edit of what I just said. Who am I doing it for? Am I doing it to look good for everyone else, or am I
100%,
back
yes.
to? Am I doing it for me? Because
Different.
like 100%. Like if I've never done first class, I should go fly first class to experience it, and I might go, well, I'm never going back. that might be a really helpful shift.
So
right?
full circle to even what you said about when we were like, I don't know, how people have business and then have kids, and you're like, well, when it happens, you just fucking figure it out.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So if I'm like, well, I want to drive this car and I'm going to go purchase it, and then I'm just going to fucking figure it out and make it work because this is what's aligning for me and this is who I want to be. Right. So I'm going to make this work and figure out how to do it.
Yeah. And I think that's easier to do for people who, I mean, I personally believe no matter who you are, that we can create our own reality in life. But I will say, I think it's a little easier for a business owner or someone who has the opportunity to make what they want. This kind of goes back to, like, my husband has always been a W-2. This is what my company gives me. This is what I have to spend. Mm-hmm. Whereas I know that I'm creating wealth. And so I can feel like I can go buy that nice vehicle knowing that I can go make more money.
Sure.
Whereas if I have the mentality of like, it doesn't matter what I do, this is what I make, then that's going to stretch me beyond my means. Totally. And really, I'm really going to be fronting.
Well, right? There's a big difference between making money and earning a paycheck.
Yeah,
those are two
very different things.
Very, very different. And it's as a business owner, there's a challenge with making money.
Now, you could take that to another level if we go back to my husband's situation, because he could put himself in the energy of getting a promotion.
Sure.
Or, there's shifts. We're not ever really stuck, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, we got to create what we want.
Well, so what comes with earning a paycheck is stability, safety, less risk, all these positive things, and more comfort.
Right.
And not the need to go, I don't really want to work harder. I don't really want to work more hours. Do I really want the promotion? Like, it's easier to just go.
Which would be my husband.
It's easier to go. And nothing against that person or specifically your husband or anyone else.
I appreciate it. I need the yin and yang for me.
Right.
Yeah. Which is different because, I mean, my partners, I've shared with you guys, they were married and they were both launching this business together where it was like they didn't have the W-2 like I had, where I knew at least I have some stability with my husband. Mm-hmm. For them, it was this is what we have. That's you guys too, right? Yeah.
It's us. 100%.
And I will say it was interesting working in that dynamic because I was listening to your podcast with Maria. Where they had that similar dynamic. And I was just thinking, it's so interesting to work in a trio like that. It was actually really hard for me.
Yeah, I could imagine that being really hard.
I'm conscious of, so we just brought someone on as an intern, and there's a dynamic that we have, and that we're bringing someone into that.
Right.
The way that happens is really important. The awareness around some of that is important, of like how we're delegating, who's doing what is like, because we just... Right now, one of our biggest flaws is like we just pick up each other's slack, and it's like, okay, that can be confusing, or that can be a challenge for someone that's like, wait, who do I tell what? Who's
right? Well, and it's different dynamic because we've had employees. So again, I worked with them for like a decade, right? And we would have employees, and part of the challenge we had with 3 owners was, who am I supposed to listen to almost, right?
Yeah.
It's like I have 3 people telling me, and you're all a little different.
What's the level of system?
But at the same time, like, they were an employee, so it was a different...
You're the odd man out always.
Than being an owner, right? Than being a partner in an ownership situation. Yeah. Because, like Maria was saying, at the end of the day, they're married. They're going to be looking out for themselves
and their family.
And I'm a business partner at that point. So it made a different dynamic. You guys would be fine because it's not like you're introducing another business partner. You're just finding support and how to support them and manage them. And it might be like, we have 2 bosses and I don't know who to go to or who to listen to. But it's different than even just having that third partner in the mix. 100%. And I knew that going in, and it was a great experience, and we're still all great friends. And so it's all good. It was just a different dynamic than I was used to.
Yeah. No, it comes with challenges, right? Because the 2 of us have our own stuff, and we go to sleep next to each other, and there's those conversations that you're never going to be part of.
I'm not having those. Yes. Well, I'm not part of your conversations. Yeah. And then I'm not having those conversations with my husband. Yeah.
Right.
With my business ownership. Right.
Right. So that's an interesting partnership dynamic. For sure. And at the employee level, just involved in, again, it's a very intimate thing to work with someone, have a business with them. There's talk about layers.
There's a lot. A lot. And I watched that with both of them for 14 years. Yeah. And how they interacted with each other. How they,
Well, I really appreciate your mindset and your input on the whole authentic conversation, because again, this is now the third time that this conversation has come up, and the other 2 times I'm like, yeah, that's not really hitting the bullseye, or like it really wasn't navigating that conversation well, so
It wasn't authentic enough.
Right.
yeah, so thank you for
Yeah,
that
they're
perspective.
good. Yeah. That's an intriguing conversation. Yeah. Because it's
So-
true. It's like, yeah, at what point is it authentic versus not? And
Yeah. Well, to bring this back full circle, what's a takeaway from this conversation, or what are we grateful for from the time that we spent together?
I'm grateful for Heather's energy, your enthusiasm. Every time I'm around you, it's like I
Yeah.
get juice from it. So
Yeah.
this conversation and just the insight of authenticity tied to my values is like okay,
yeah.
I can agree with that for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel really grateful for some intimate time with you, Heather. Like I know events and groups and things where there's more people, and so just the dynamic of the 3 of us, I really appreciated being able to talk in an intimate setting. And
Agreed.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank
That's
you.
something I would point out as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. I was really excited to come.
Yeah.
Just like have a good conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to other episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Bring it-
Like, I
bring it
better
to-
make sure I know what's going on. I'm not going into this. Let's see what other people are talking about. Yeah. But it's great. I love that you're doing this, because obviously there's like insights that you get out of listening. There's tidbits and nuggets. And then you also get to know the members a little more. Like, right? Like I haven't got to interface with Maria a lot. But listening to her talk to you guys, I'm like, oh, she's cool. Like,
You would actually.
right? Like,
Oh,
we're,
you
I can
two
tell.
would vibe.
We're very
Yes,
much, I
yes.
can tell. Like, we would totally vibe. But I haven't got that from her before. So doing this allows the members to connect in a different kind of way. So I
Yeah.
love that you guys
That
are doing
was
this.
that more than anything. That was our hope. Is
Yeah.
that I get to hear about Heather, and then maybe I gravitate towards Heather
Yeah.
because she has kids and I have kids, or the way
Right.
she thinks about business, or I don't want to make 100 phone calls a day, or whatever the thread I can pull on
Right.
is, right? Like that's, and at the end of the day for us is like we get this time, and
Yeah.
hopefully someone else, it resonates with someone else to
Yeah.
be like, ooh, I like Heather. I want to.
Yeah. Or even just add value. I mean, that's something I'm big on in life.
Yeah.
Is like, how can I add value to other people?
Right.
100%. Yeah.
That might not be a referral. That might be me connecting with someone.
Yeah.
That might be me sharing my insight on what I think authenticity is. You know, who knows? But I feel like if everyone can get a little something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then I've added value in some way. So,
You definitely
100%.
added value
yeah.
today.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Yay,
Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
It's fun.
Okay, so Luke Combs? How do you say it? Luke Combs?
Luke Holmes.
There's a C there, right? There's like
I think it's all just, it blends together.
All right, Luke Combs. What?
Like Patrick Mahomes, but Luke Holmes.
His last name is Holmes?
Combs.
It's Combs.
But it sounds like Holmes.
Okay, all right. That's what I thought, like Luke Combs.
Just say it like it's like
Luke Combs.
Luke Combs. Just all one word.
Just all one word. Why is that so difficult?
It's like when someone's name ends with S, and it's like
Yeah.
an extra S.
Well, so it was interesting. He was on Armchair on Monday, and he talked about like calling himself lazy. He used lazy as a way to describe himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was really interesting to hear about how it's not necessarily that he's lazy. It's more that the work that he does with music comes so naturally to him that it's not hard. And so he doesn't feel like he's doing hard work. And he also describes the hard work piece being like what you've talked about with hard work of, yeah, that's construction and working for 12 hours and sweating my ass off and lifting heavy things. And we talk about that a little bit on this episode as well, of just what is hard work and what's that definition. And so I just always find that fascinating, and it might just look different for people when the thing that they're doing doesn't feel hard, and it still is hard work. I'm putting in a lot of time, energy, effort, hours, whatever.
I think for me, there's definitely a level of like physical like I tied hard work, even if I enjoy it, like sports was like there's an exhaustion component to it. And when I don't have that, then yeah, it feels lazy, or it feels like I could have done more. I have more energy than I'm exerting physically. So that means I'm not, which I'm not saying it's healthy, but it's probably not
I guess
a great way to operate.
Well, our business has nothing to do with physical labor, physical work. We're not doing that. It's the opposite of that. Unless I'm getting an event ready and I'm moving furniture and sweating a little bit, and even that's pretty minimal as far as what we do.
Right. So yeah, I would agree with I don't know that I label it lazy. It's categorized as something different than hard work.
So how would you categorize it?
Again, I'm saying like I don't think it's like I don't think it's effective. I think it's part of this whole not enough, could do better, right? Like it's tied into that. I think it's tied to like the 40-hour work week, and if I'm not working a 40-hour work week, and then if the work doesn't feel like work, so am I really working 40 hours, right? If I don't call it work because it doesn't feel hard, because I'm not sweating, because I'm not physically doing it, and then we're at a place where we're chasing something, right? And it's like, well, I could do more because I have energy, or because it's not physically exhausting, and then it turns into like this beat myself up because it wasn't good enough.
Gosh, this cycle is just hearing you talk about it is exhausting.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, when I think about hard work, maybe I'm just classifying hard work as the work that I dislike doing. Like, I'm just like, well, this is hard to me because I don't like it, and it's hard for me to stay focused on it. So researching today, there was quite a bit of looking at a lot of different websites and just scrolling, and that to me, I'm like, ugh, this feels hard because I don't like it, versus what we get to do in here, or even when we are hosting a dinner or something like that. To me, that's not hard work at all. It's so much. It's my favorite, and some of the most effective probably that we do.
Yeah, I mean, doing something I don't want to do is just more of like it's difficult. I'm avoiding it, or I'm putting it off because it's not fulfilling, it's not rewarding, it's not, versus like I'm just going like, when I think of hard work for me is like I'm physically exhausted.
Okay, so difficult's more
like almost like a job well done type mindset. I feel like I put in effort and energy, and at the end of the day, I'm happy with whatever the result was from it.
Yeah.
That would be like a day of hard work, or like versus difficult, challenging, annoying work where it's like busy work.
Well, I guess, okay, so do you think that work has to be hard?
Yeah, I think that's part of my crazy.
Well, because you've had that question in some of our growth groups. What's your definition of hard work?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess even from the first time that you ever did that, I never really thought about it. But yeah, why even classify it as hard work? Why does it have to be hard?
Because if I don't work hard, then I don't feel like I earn it.
Why not? Why can't I just work?
It's a great question.
If I get the job done and I execute it at whatever standard, whatever has been defined as excellence, and it wasn't hard,
that should be good enough.
I guess, yeah. I mean, especially as we're growing our team, and now we're leading people, and I certainly don't feel like that's how you lead others, is to do hard work. This is the standard of excellence that we've defined for whatever the task is, whatever the project is. And as long as that's done, and it's done by whatever timeline has been established, then what if that was really fucking easy for the person who did it? I guess, and you're not the only one. Like that's just the thing, right? There's a lot of people that we've talked to who have talked about younger generations being lazy, and I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I think lazy lazy is just more efficient or smarter. Like working smarter, not harder.
Well, maybe. I mean, it could be lazy or like the people seeing it as lazy, or it might just be unmotivated, or it might just be leadership not defining excellence, right?
Well, sure. I mean, so it goes back to the conversation of, okay, so that person's hardworking. What does hardworking mean? It's not a behavior. It's a label that I'm deciding that
right.
So it seems like this person is hardworking. So I want to find more people that are hardworking. But what does hardworking mean? What are the behaviors that show up tied to hardworking?
Exactly. So
my own, we're shifting gears here, but like my own personal thing is like I need to, if I don't work hard, I don't earn whatever I'm working towards, and it's this very like big black hole of like, yeah, how hard am I working? Okay, cool. Like that's why I'm not where I want to be, because I feel like I could be working harder.
Okay, so you just said, what are the behaviors associated with hard work? So what are the behaviors to you associated with hard work? What's the behavior?
That's like the physical sweat. Like that's where that comes in from.
How is physical sweat isn't a behavior?
How is it not a behavior? I'm physically sweating.
Physical sweat is a behavior?
I'm sweating. I move something and I'm sweating. That is a behavior.
That's a result. Sweating is a result of something. What's the behavior that is causing the sweat to happen?
Hard work.
That's not... Rudy would come in here and just slap you silly right now. That is not... Hard work is not... How do you define excellence? What's an A-plus player? This is the same conversation. And you're giving me a result, and you're giving me, like, a label.
How is sweat not a behavior?
How is sweat a behavior? Please tell me how sweating is a behavior. Sweating is that is something that happens because of something else.
So what's the behavior?
You tell me.
I don't know. I think sweating is behavior. I said I move stuff and then I sweat. So
okay, so
physically exerting energy, not being on a computer.
Oh my God. Okay, but if I just go back to the exercise of defining A+, physically exerting energy is an A+ player?
No. Yeah, I guess I need help with what is excellence attached to hard work? If I say I want hardworking, if I want to work with people that are hardworking, what's the behavior that's tied to hardworking?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like that's an exercise that you've done it many times and know like how to differentiate between behaviors and labels or results or right. So instead of defining A+ player, like what's the same exact exercise for defining hard work that's not sweating, because I'm not saying that you need to sit here and define it right now. I just think that it's the same exercise.
I understand it's the same exercise.
Okay.
I guess it would be working more than the required minimum.
Okay.
It would look like jumping into things that weren't part of my quote-unquote job. It would be offering to help, raising my hand to help, right?
This is your definition of more. You're defining this for what you think hard work is. I'm just pointing out that sweating isn't a behavior.
Sure. I guess when I say behavior, I'm thinking about data. Okay,
so yeah, data. I can see that there's sweat coming down your face. Sure. But that's not a behavior. That's not a behavior to coach somebody. I can't coach someone to go sweat. What if I don't sweat? What if I'm not a sweaty person? I am.
You are a sweaty person.
I can just sit here and start sweating.
So you must work really hard.
I work so hard. I can work so hard from just sitting down and doing nothing and sweating. Damn, I work my ass off.
By my definition, you're the hardest worker I know with how much you sweat.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes these go really well and sometimes they don't. There's a lot of just frustration and a lot of uncertainty and a lot of guilt, shame.
Yeah, I mean, to use Rudy's analogy of like you're carrying a lot of rocks right now.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me is wondering too so you had the big realization of like it's not all my fault, and that's true, and there's also things that need to get done, so I do have control over how much time I'm spending on whatever the things are. So we don't have control over what's happening in the world, and I don't have control over what you're going to do or say or anything. I do have control over my actions. I have control over what I work on and what I'm doing. So I hear you on like, it's not all my fault, and I still have to put in the time to get the things done that...
Yeah, there's still responsibility tied. It's not my fault, and my habit is to make everything my fault. So what's the easiest way to do that? It's to avoid it. It's to not respond to things. It's to put things off, and then and then it becomes my fault again.
Right. It's like you're trying to like make it your fault.
It's very like self-sabotage type spiral stuff.
Yeah.
Is what I feel like I'm in the middle of right now.
Yeah.
It's like, of course it's your fault. What do you, how dare I think that it's not when I know it's not? I know that's not true. But right now I'm at a place where I'm working through that. And so I'm making everything my fault because it's supposed to be hard, because it's not supposed to be easy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You're trying to make it hard work. You're trying to make it hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what if it wasn't?
Right. It doesn't have to be. For whatever reason, I'm programmed in it. This many years of my life is like it has to be hard. There's no way it can be easy. So let's make it hard.
Sometimes I just want to like a baby. Never ever ever shake a baby.
Yeah,
like, but you're so good in there. Just stop making it so hard on yourself. It's so like from the outside.
Well, that and when it makes it hard on me, it makes it hard on us, and that's not fair to you.
Well, yeah, I mean, so sure, there are definitely frustrations that come for me because of that, and at the same time, like for me, it's more upsetting to see you put yourself down like that.
Sure.
When I feel the weight that you're carrying, it's like, dude, it could be so much lighter, and it sucks that that's not where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that, or like feeling light is literally terrifying. There's moments where it feels free and it feels different and it feels full of possibility and healthy, and then it goes back to I don't like it. This is uncomfortable.
Yeah. And the thing, I mean, I've said this on the calls with Rudy too. It's like I truthfully, like I don't know that there's anything that I can ask or say or do. Like I don't know. I mean, most of the time at this point, I just kind of let you be until I think you're out of it and you're more in the clear as much as I can. I mean, obviously there's some times where I have to ask you like a work related question or something, but I'm unsure how to be more supportive if that's a possibility for you to feel more supported.
Yeah, I don't even know what that looks like or what I would ask for.
Yeah.
Which is not helpful for you.
No, and I'm not sitting here asking for your help, but I also am not trying to like put that responsibility on you. I'm just saying that just over the years of knowing you, I've tried a couple of different approaches and have not felt that any of them have helped in any capacity.
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, we can just put her there, bub, and put this one to rest.
Maybe there's something in here we're sharing. Maybe not.
Never mind. There might be like a 5-minute clip. Maybe.
Okay. Put her there, bub.
Put her there, bub. Little bub.
Little bub.
Little bub. My little bub.